Hey everyone, and welcome to the OMG podcast. Today is episode 13, and today I have a really cool episode to talk about. I'm actually excited because I just almost finished watching the new Black Mirror movie, Bandersnatch, on Netflix. And I say almost because it's an interactive film. I'm not sure if you've ever had or tried to experience this before, but it kind of gave me a new way on how it could actually affect your business. Because if you know, without giving away the plot points of the movie, it's a movie that allows you to kind of pick and choose the narrative, right? It'll present with you an option. The screen gets darker, the music gets a little bit more intense, and you come up with two different options on which way you want to go, right? And depending on your actions, dictates the actual film. Now, this is pretty cool because number one, it's the first time I've experienced something like that. So immediately I'm thinking about how it can be fun when you're watching it with a group of people, right? So you're getting more engagement out of it. The other thing too is that, especially for the Netflix, think about how competitors are going to have to struggle to keep up because now, original content is very important, but now you're mixing original content and giving users the ability to control the narrative to increase engagement, to increase watch time. Not only that, but it's, once you're done watching a movie, you're pretty much done. Now with this type of content, you kind of want to go back and see what would have happened if you picked the other choices, right? So watch time goes up, the amount of people that go up. One of the things that stood out to me the most too while I'm watching it is, product placement. The movie does a real good job in terms of making you make a simple choice, but they present two different products right in front of you. And this is all really cool and really interesting. And I'm kind of like, my mind is kind of blown because if you pay attention to the movie, it's talking about, do you have the option of, free choice, or are you being controlled? And yet the person is creating a game based on that. You're watching the Netflix that's kind of based on that. So it's very meta. It's very kind of like Inception based, which I love because my brain kind of runs with it and takes off. And I'm a huge sci-fi fan. And Black Mirror is one of my favorite series on Netflix anyway. So I was a happy camper. But nonetheless, how can we apply this to your business? And this is just kind of like, we may not be able to apply it right now, especially because for many small, medium-sized companies, the technology isn't there yet, right? We don't have the ability, at least to my knowledge, to create such an interactive platform, because imagine, let's say you were creating a training course or a training module, right? And therefore, rather than having quizzes, you built in the interactivity within the course, right? Rather than having a quiz to test knowledge, how about before they go to the next module, you build in a choice. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Right? And depending on where they go, they then complete the course, right? It creates a much more user-friendly experience. And it allows you to get way more creative with the idea of allowing users, your market, your customers, kind of dictate the kind of knowledge or solution they want from you, right? Now, on the back end for your business, it's going to help you because you're going to be able to see trends and analyze that data. You can see what information your customers deem most important, what information they don't really necessarily care about, so you can kind of remove and eliminate. But more importantly, too, is how to keep your customers engaged, because that's kind of a key metric that not many people I hear talk about. We're always talking about, traffic or conversion, right? So we're looking at getting more people to our website, or increasing our conversions. And so we have, ROI, we have cost per click, cost per lead, all that other stuff. But engagement is a real big metric, especially now when we live in a very filtered world, right? Everything's being filtered, everything's being edited. And so when it comes to engagement, that kind of has a sense of virality to it. So we want to increase our engagement to increase our virality. And at the same time, everything is becoming more community based, right? If you see, many people are starting their own Facebook groups, their own communities. They start calling their members a specific, word, or trendy topic, like, CrossFit is its own community, right? You also have your yoga people, you have vegans with their own specific niche. You have all these different people that are trying to create communities. And so within these communities comes engagement. And when you engage the right community, the virality aspect increases. So what can we learn from this Black Mirror, right? That way, when you're binge watching, you don't feel as guilty, is that engagement is what it's all about. So how can we apply these principles to our current businesses? And a lot of it comes down to gamification, okay? Making it fun, making it interesting, and gamifying your learning, your solutions, rewarding people. for the actions that they are taking, even if it's a micro action, like a micro commitment. So, when you're watching, this Netflix show, you're being rewarded because you're presented with an option. Okay, do you want to do A or B? I want to do B. Boom. And then you instantly see what that action causes. So it's like kind of like an instant gratification factor. And that's a part of gamification, right? The other way we can do it is by adding, little rewards to our learning modules. I've seen courses online where they'll give you a little badge, right, after you complete a certain module, things like that. What if we were to surprise, give away something really cool, like a gift card, just because they completed a module, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We're gamifying these different things. We're learning about how we can make our content much more interesting and much more exciting for our members, for our customers, okay? Now, besides the fact that you should go watch this movie and play around with it and see how you like it. Think again also about what it means for your customers, but more importantly, in relation to your competitors, right? See, many of us are in our markets and we look at our competitors when we're just starting out and we're like, oh, you know what? These people are doing it right. So let me try to model them or let me try to beat them. Well, one of the best ways to beat any competitor is to really kind of position yourself in a completely different field, right? So this is kind of like niche marketing. And a good way to do that is not only by, going after a specific niche, but also by your deliverables, okay? So what you did actually deliver to the marketplace can be how you differentiate yourself from your competitors. So if you are in the finance market and you're selling a course on finance, right, or on wealth creation, or let's say you're in the real estate and you're selling a course on property investment, what are your competitors doing and how can you differentiate yourself from that? Okay, and when we start looking at that level of differentiation, what can we do to gamify that process? Because that's going to be key, right? If we can differentiate ourselves in our deliverables, but then also add an element of gamification to it where it's fun, where it's rewarding, right? Where it increases engagement, that's going to completely differentiate you from any of your competitors. And again, because everything is becoming more tribal, the more engaged the more engagement you can have on a certain tribe, which should be your tribe, the higher the virality aspect gets to it, right? So let's say you're in the property world, you have your course on wealth creation, and you have gamification installed. So you're rewarding people left and right. You are, giving them virtual high fives. Maybe you're giving out some some gift cards here and there. You have some other engagement aspects to it, right? That in and of itself is going to differentiate you from your competitors. So to those people inside, what is the probability that they're more likely to recommend you than someone else, right? And going hand in hand with that, what's the probability that they tried another course, right? I'm going to go on a limb and say probably likely. I know myself, I know many entrepreneurs, we go from one course to another because we try to better our knowledge and invest in ourselves, right? And part of investing in yourself is going through course. So again, if that tribe is going through all those courses and then they see yours and you have high engagement, you're gamifying it, what's the probability that they're actually going to tell others to come in and jump on your course, right? So you literally have like your own little referral network. So by going from just having, a course, now we've added gamification into it. And by gamifying it, we added differentiation. And by having differentiation, we've created more community engagement. So we increase our virality. And by increasing our virality aspect, we then increase the amount of people that are going to refer us to other business, or, again, they're going to bring other people. And at the end of the day, what you really want are advocates, So this is a way for me to justify why I just spent about an hour and a half watching an interactive movie on Netflix, because that's literally what I got from it after watching the movie. And again, the movie is called Bandersnatch. I have it here just because I don't want to forget it, but it's Black Mirror, which I love. And by watching through this movie, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many cool little ideas that we can implement into a business. But a lot of it has to do with, again, gamification, which is really, really such a cool concept. And I wish more platforms, more softwares out there, like the Kajabis, the Active Campaigns, the MailChimps, the Vimeos and whatever. I wish they would include more elements that will allow content creators, business owners to add more gamification into their business, because again, we want to help everyone, right? We want to help as many people as we can, but we also want to do it in a fun and interactive way. So again, go ahead and watch this and then come back, listen to the podcast one more time, but see how you can gamify your products and your solutions. Okay, by gamifying it, again, you're gonna be able to differentiate from your competitors, which is gonna separate you and put you in a different field altogether. By then doing that, you're then going to increase the community and the engagement of your tribe, increasing your virality factor, and then turning your community into a horde of people, of advocates that are gonna go and bring you more business. All right, so that's it for today's podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, post your comments below, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Bye.